All right, hello everybody. Today we're going to ask a question, a very simple question. And the question is, if I pick one person at random, what are the chances that they are going to fall into a specific age group? So we're going to talk about why this is important. Um, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and then we'll just get started on the problem. And this is again kind of a walkthrough of your homework problem. You can use this for anything that you want to use it for, even, you know, just personal life. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you right now, and let's go. Okay, first off, man, I'm trying to find there we go. Boom. Okay. Here we are, and I'm going to skip my little. All right, so let's just do this. Let's pause, stop. Let's see. All right. All right, here we go. Um, so we do have a situation. We're going to pick from a group. So I'm just going to copy the problem information. We have a little pretend data set. All right, I'll put it over here. All right, and you should be able to see this. Hopefully you do. Let's talk about Canadians. Are Canadians rich? I'm not really sure. But we're going to pick out the richest ones. Make this nice and big so that you can see. I'm going to stretch this out. And, you can just kind of follow along in Excel. I know I've done these before. People are always like, oh, I have to pause your video to catch up. Well, go ahead and pause. No one's stopping you from doing that. All right, so we take the richest people in Canada and we decide we're going to sort them into age groups. All right. And then we're going to figure out whether or not, what's the chance that we maybe don't necessarily know the age and we want to pick someone out of that group. So let's say one of the 16 or one of the 12. How likely are we going to be that we pick someone from this particular group? All right. So let me give you an easier explanation of how this works. Imagine you have a cookie jar with 10 cookies. All right. 10 cookies. 10 cookies. Type it in here. All right. And we want to know we have 3 chocolate chip. We have 2 sugar. That's my favorite ones. And then 5 peanut butter. All right. Out of those, um, let's say we close our eyes from these cookies and we just reach into the jar. What kind do you think you're going to get out of that? What's the chance we're going to get that peanut butter or that sugar? The sugar looks kind of low because there's only 2. But wouldn't it be nice if we could put a probability on there? All right. So that's basically what we're doing here. Pretend like our people here are a cookie jar and that these age groups are the flavors of the cookies. And that's a great way to look at that in kind of a real world, kind of a little easier scenario. So go ahead and delete that. All right, so let's go ahead and do this in Excel. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shore this up. A lot of people like to start in A1. I'm going to go ahead and do that too, and then I'm going to bring this back when we get done. All right, so let's scoot these up, delete, shift cells up. Here we go. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at these ages, 20 to 30. I guess we're not doing 10 and under, 19 and under. They don't believe that they are the richest people. I'm kidding. And then we're going to look at the frequency here. All right, so in A7, or in this particular, did I not do 4? Did I miss one? 16. Let's go take a look. 4, 10, 16, 12. All right, so let's go ahead in here. We're going to put total. And then we're going to add these up. All right, why are we adding them up? That's going to be our denominator. All right. So we're going to go ahead and our denominator being how much we divide by. I'm going to hit the equals button. I'm going to hit the word sum. Okay. And if you start to type the SU and you see the sum is coming, you can just, click it twice, just like that. And then you can take your mouse and touch the B1 and pull it down. And now you just have this wonderful little sum of all these numbers, adds it together right for you. Now, if you're afraid you don't like to touch your mouse, you can hit the equals button and just click and hit the plus, click some more, hit the plus. Just two different ways of doing it. Gets the job done. I think sum is easier. The other thing you could do is click, hit the control button and the shift, and then the down arrow, and it'll grab it for you. So if you have like a bunch of numbers, that also works. All right, so now we've turned it into 50. Yay us, aren't we so cool? We are so cool. All right, let's go ahead and figure out the probability that one of these numbers is going to get picked out of the 50. Is that not super fun? I mean, I enjoy doing it, so let's go. All right, so we're going to take this particular number and we're going to do a new formula, and we're going to hit the equal button, and then we're going to touch the number 4 right here. We just touch it with our mouse. Now, if you're afraid to use your mouse, or you don't like to use a mouse, you can hit the equal button and you can just type the B, the column B, the number 1, and then hit that, and it'll pull it up also. Then the divide key, which is the little what you call it? It's not a dash. It's a slanty. I'll call it a slanty. Divided by the total amount. Now, here's a little trick. That'll go ahead and give you the decimal amount, but I want to turn this into a percentage. I want to know out of this particular uh, situation, what is the chance of hitting B2 out of 50? So I'm going to touch this percentage button, and looky there. Boom. Can you all see this? It's right up here on the what do you call it? The ruler. Is that what we call it now? I mean, I go all the way back to Windows 95, so I may not be a good terminology person in 2025. But here we have 8%. Ta-da! We are so awesome. And that takes care of that. Now, I'm going to go ahead, because I want to do it for all of these numbers. I'm going to go ahead and flip this 8% right up here. Okay. And what I can do is I can go ahead and have all of these numbers divided by 50. Now, why would I want to know, why would I want to do that? Well, it just kind of gives you a feel for what you could potentially pull out of a category. Sometimes you can eyeball it and you could say, okay, well, mostly the chance is that A3 is probably what's going to come up, because it seems like there's more of those, right? There's more frequency. But in reality, B2 and B4 are pretty close. But how close are they? 10 and 12 doesn't tell me a lot. And then how close is it to the 70 and 80%? If it's just a small percentage point, I may want to look closely at these. So let's just go ahead. Now, before I go dragging it down, if I drag my screen down, I say, okay, I want B1 to divide by B7. I also want B2 to divide by D7. So I can figure out what percentage B2 is also, right? If I drag them down, look what happens. Oh, those are so ugly. Nobody likes to see those. Those divide by zeros. What's really happening here? Well, it's going down below, right? Let's see here, this one. See, it's reaching down to these instead of going to our actual 50 amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the F4 key. And now these two little dollar signs are going to force it to go down and grab the same cell each time. Let me do that again so you can have it. I click it here. I click right here on this B7 right here. And I usually do it in the middle. I mean, you could probably go and do it on whatever side. It's just my comfort zone. I'm going to hit the F4. Now, if you're like, oh, well, I don't see the F4, I got to do a bunch of work to get to the F4. Hold on. You could simply just walk in yourself, tap the mouse, and then use the shift silly me, 4 key to add a dollar sign in front of each of the areas. And then you can get it that way. All right, so let's go ahead. And what I'm going to do is you can see how it turns into a small plus sign. I'm going to drag this down. Looky here. What an excitement. Now, obviously, there's a blank here. So let's just get rid of this. I'm going to delete this. And this is the total. Well, now I really have a better feel for how much each of my possibility of pulling a person from this age group is. So let's go ahead. I'm going to add a little insert here. I'm going to go ahead and move this up here. I'm going to add another insert. I always put the headings on after. You can do it however you want. I mean, and then I'm going to go ahead and put cumulative frequency. Okay. Call it abbreviated. I'm kind of that person, but you get the drift. All right. Now look, hey, let's have some more fun. You want to make a graph? Let's make a graph. Boom, boom. In here, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to hit my insert. Now, what do I have up here on this ribbon? Lots of entertaining content. Recommended charts. I could even do a pivot chart. I mean, if we want to go out here and do a pivot chart, let's do a pivot chart. Let's go ahead and see what the charts that are recommended are. Well, wow. Looky here. I got all sorts of graphs. I got a clustered column, real pretty looking. I got a clustered bar, another gorgeous piece. Do you like it going up and down, or do you like it going sideways? I like it going up and down because then I can look at it and guess if it's a normal distribution, which is something I don't know if we're covering in this class or not. But when we get down to normal distribution, you're going to have a lot of fun with that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the OK button, and I'm going to let this chart come into oh, wow, looky here. We've got some fun stuff. I'm going to pull this little thing up. Oops. And anytime I make a mistake, Control Z is there to save me. If that happens to you, Control Z is here to save you. Now look, these bars are pretty. I think they're really gorgeous. I also feel uncomfortable because I look at it and it looks like it's almost 16. 10, but if I want to see what number it is, I gotta take my eye and come over here and look. That feels like a lot. So I'm gonna click on these, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add data labels. Now I'm just going, this is when, going a little above and beyond. You don't have to. I mean, everybody does what they do. Am I sharing the screen? I hope so. Okay, here we go. Boom. Now it's very clear and easy to see that feeling between what 10 and 12 looks like. Is it normally distributed? Kind of looks like it might be. If we bend the age groups and tightened it up, we might have a real pretty normal distribution around 40 to 50%. And I'm saying the words normal distribution, probably not in your book at this point, something you can go look up and find out more about. It's a fun reading topic. So I love these kinds of problems because I do often think about when I go select something, how close am I to being what the most likely outcome is? Am I selecting something that is most likely not going to happen? Or am I selecting something that is going to happen? And neither one is good or bad. It's just selection. All right, I'm going to end this video here. Um, be sure reach out to your professor if you have any questions about this class. One of our amazing professors is really working for you this week. Don't forget to thank them. Remember that learning is a gift and a joy, and have a rest of the wonderful week that you're getting ready to have. Thank you. Boom. All right, let's watch it. Oh, I'm still doing